velkommen tilbage her i boksen, hvor vi starter op med FEI Dressage World Cup Grand Prix, præsenteret af Luhors. Luhors, et af Europas førende hestesportscentre med alt under indtag, eneste internationale toppublikator i salgsselskaber og deres egen serie af plejeprodukter til heste. Luhors er. Og vi er også hestene bestræber Luhors og tur fremadrettet med vedheste og betjener med succes hopper i både ind- og udland. Og Luhors ryttere deltager ved stævner nationalt såvel som internationalt og edukator for Luhors har vundet adskillige Danmarksmesterskaber i dressur og deltaget ved Europamesterskaber, verdensmesterskaber og olympiske lege. Men inden jeg præsenterer klassen, så vil jeg gerne lige fortælle, at I som publikum nu har mulighed for at sætte jer i dommersædet, og det sker med Spectator Judging App, som I nu kan downloade i App Store eller Google Play. Og her får I altså en unik mulighed for at dømme vores World Cup-ryttere her i Herning, hvor de er fuldt med vores professionelle dommere. Men i klassen her, altså FEI Dressage World Cup Grand Prix, præsenteret af Luhors, der har vi ryttere fra 7 forskellige nationer, og vi skal se i alt 17 ekvipager.
Well, the World Cup Herning just about to get underway. The excitement is mounting. And why not get excited with us? Why not go and join the FEI speaker text? Now, all this is about is joining the spectator judging for today's FEI Dressage World Cup Grand Prix here in Herning, Denmark. What you need to do is just download the spectator judging app, App Store or Google Play, and click on World Cup Herning. Then select the Grand Prix and choose between either the quick mode, so that gives you the chance to give one overall score, or short or full mode to judge every movement. And the average audience results will be announced after each competitor. You're automatically participating in the FEI E-League by joining in several FEI Dressage World Cup shows during the 2023-24 season. You can climb up the leaderboard, and at the end of the season you have the chance to win some amazing prizes. So check out your judging skills and enjoy this extraordinary, absolutely fun app. Spectator Judging in Herning is presented by the FEI.
FEI Dressage World Cup returns for a new season. As the world's best athletes and horses take center stage to deliver performances full of grace, power, music and artistry in a bid to secure a place at the finals in April 2024. This is equestrian sport at its most levels.
And it's given me great pleasure to introduce you to
Welcome along for the ride, everybody. Welcome here to the FEI Dressage World Cup of 2023 and through to 2024. We start here, the best of the riders in the business here in Herning in Denmark with the FEI Dressage World Cup. The Grand Prix today, bringing us a fabulous lineup of 17 different starters, and including some of the biggest names in the sport. Right from the beginning, you saw there Nana Skotberg-Meral, the world number 3, will start things off. But a total of 7 different nations, and including world number 7 there, Patrick Kittel, with the wonderful touchdown for Sweden, giving us a huge range of quality and some great young talent in the mix as well. So really excited to see how this unfolds. The first stop of the Western European League, the freestyle, of course, is what they're all aiming for and looking for tomorrow when the points are handed out. The 11-round series starting here in Denmark, the first of 9 different nations that will visit over the course of the next 6 months as we look for those points and those that will qualify ultimately for those finals. But a fabulous lineup in the Grand Prix today, making it all the more exciting when you can see in there the likes of the young rider, the great talent coming up in Germany with Felicitas Hendricks, and also you can see Olympian rider from Japan there as well, the star Yoko Kitai. Plenty more besides that, and as you look down the list, it really has a lot of the home stars involved, as you would expect here. Hugely popular, and always one of the best highlights of the year for the dressage enthusiasts, and it's a great way to kick things off here in Denmark. So very excited to see which way this turns today. Judges down there will just be getting into place as the riders put the final touches to their warm-up out the back, and then we'll get things underway with this Grand Prix test. Plenty of medalists from World, European, Olympic, Youth Championships up and down the line in today's lineup. As the music sounds out to get things started down there on the ground, and you can see the judges just taking up their positions as well. We've got with us today, as the graphics clear, sat with us are at E, Hans Christian Mathiesen from Denmark, joined by compatriot Susan Barrett at H. President for the class sat at C is for the Netherlands, Mariette Saunders van Ganswinkel. At M from Germany is Henning Lerman, and for Great Britain sat at B is Peter Storr. Plenty of people already been enjoying the festivities here in Herning, the event that brings together jumping and dressage, and it is a true multidiscipline event. But this is what they've all been looking forward to here on this Saturday afternoon, the FEI Dressage World Cup Grand Prix, presented by Blue Horse. And we are set to get things started with the first of the combinations, and what a way to start things off for the home crowd as well. There'll be no bigger name in the sport perhaps here currently in the Danish lineup than this lady. It is Nana Skotberg-Meral, the world number 3, with the wonderful Blue Horse Zach. This, as we know, was the ride that was so successful as part of the World Championship Team Gold Medal back in 2022 right here in Herning. In fact, this combination scoring their Grand Prix personal best, or combination best together that day, part of that team gold performance when they scored 76.724. Was busy that year because we remember as well, Anna went on to also be part of the European Championship team of her other ride. So this is the ride from Tokyo that also formed part of the team that took 4th place there in those Olympic Games. And they're going to get things underway here today. This Dutch warm blood by Harmonies Rosso out of a Jas mare. What a great way to start the 2023 season for the FEI Dressage World Cup here in Herning. years of age now, this stallion. Struggling a little bit there, broke into canter as we saw in the 2.5 passes, and that in the double coefficient will of course have a big impact on that score. Been a solid start, if not spectacular. Just need to watch that and get a little bit too deep in that rein back. To be containing an awful lot of energy and just not quite relaxing at the moment, just again perhaps struggling a little bit there, getting through the first of the passages, and the Piaffe just getting a little bit flat, losing some of the activity. These two last year competing together in Amsterdam and in Gothenburg. On both occasions they found their way into 3rd place in the freestyles. At Gothenburg, these two were 2nd as well in the Grand Prix. To make the transitions just a little bit more fluent into the passage. Just losing a little bit of energy as well. You can see that in the Piaffe. Nice changes. Tess seems to relax more now into these canter movements, but an important part here with the half passes and the changes. A little bit of a mistake there in the middle. Very nice through the first of those pirouettes to the left. final centre line. Certainly saving a stronger Piaf and Dressage for that final line. We're off and running here in Herning in the Grand Prix. Plenty of appreciation and support for that lady. Nana Skobberg-Meral there, and Blue Horse Zach kicked things off here in the Grand Prix. Yes, there were a couple of sticky moments. Of course, we saw that little mistake in the one-time changes as well, a bit earlier on in the test as well. So, nevertheless, first of the scores heading our way for Nana Skobberg-Meral and Blue Horse Zach, and here it comes across our panel of 5 judges. It totals up at 71.543%. So immediately, even with those couple of little problems, we see a good solid start here to the Grand Prix for the multi-medalist there and the world number 3. And great to see Blue Horse Zach still looking so well. An amazing array of horses, of course, part of the Blue Horse team, giving her a multitude of world-class rides to choose from and to campaign this year's at Western European League. To look ahead back, she was of course second in the World Cup final in Omaha on Blue Horse Zepter earlier this year. She'll be looking to book a place back there, I do not doubt, when she heads to the finals in April in Riyadh next year. Also just such wonderful paces.
First of 3 athletes from the Netherlands, Janine Nickman coming forward with the Apache.
Well, you can see the next is getting set to start. It's going to be the turn now of Dutch riders. First of the Dutch riders with us is Janine Nickman and her sister Denise, both competing here this week. Hugely successful when she was coming through the youth ranks as part of the Dutch team and the juniors and young riders, where she was regularly part of team medals, in fact picking up 4 team silvers. This ride is Ferrari by Apache out of a Jazz mare. Been riding this horse since 2017, has produced through the small tour levels onwards and upwards, competed in the World Cup round in Newminster last season. Nice solid start to the test. Perhaps needs a little bit more self-courage, just a bit more bend in the half pass. It's a little bit short. Again, just gives that impression of just being a little bit tight in places, just a little bit more activity through the Piaf. could have maybe been a little bit more fluid. Such a difficult transition. So often the horses, of course, always expecting that transition from the walk into the passage. Just again, a little bit flat in places, just losing the rhythm in the piaffe. So just let the transition relax a little more. Little mistake there in the first of the change lines, the 2-time. Just, this was quite short in the neck. A little bit of an issue there as well in the 1-time changes. Again, just having issues in the transition, sadly, there. You can see the resistance through to the walk, losing the fluency as they came around the corner, and after those pirouettes, where again, they just found themselves just a little bit tense again, just needs to try and allow the horse just to stretch a little bit more, just to relax. A little bit more rhythm as well in that piaffe. I'm hoping for a little bit clearer through the transitions, but finishing off as the first of the Dutch riders. Janine Neckerman there, and Ferrari. First of 3 for the Netherlands, competing here in the Dressage World Cup in Herning. With that opening score, I remind you on the board, Fernando Scottabo Meralda 71.543. We now wait for Janine's score. And this will be enough to bring her through to that freestyle tomorrow. Here it is, in fact. Across the 5, it is 65.631%. So 65.631. Big field, 17 of them in all, heading down the centre line, so still 15 more to come forward here on this FEI Dressage World Cup Grand Prix day. Just a couple of, again, issues in there, but I think most of it coming just from the tension in the neck. Of course, there was those mistakes in both the 2-time and the 1-time changes. Start to the 2023 World Cup season. We'll see the sister as well a little bit later on. Well, next up, it is another partnership for the Dutch. Here, riding hero is Devender de Rister, riding then with this ride that is by Johnson TN out of an U7 mare. Devender, who rode this horse as part of the Dutch team at those European Championships in Rizzenbeck this year. Scored, in fact, 71.211, which was a personal best in the Grand Prix to help the team to 5th place. They'd ridden this horse previously on a medal-winning team as part of the Under-25 European Championship team in 2021. This, though, is their first FEI Dressage World Cup show together. Did compete on the Nations Cup team in Falsterbo in Sweden back in the summertime. And a big day for them as they make their debut on the Western European League. Two scores up on the board, 71.543 and 65.631, as we enjoy the next of the tests in this Grand Prix with Devender Deriska and Hero. Strong start. Nice halt. Good rein back, a good transition going forward. Let's just show a little bit more risk through the extended trot. Keep that rhythm, keep the balance, don't let the energy die down. You need to keep the power levels up through the piaffe and passage. Not perhaps having the most fluent of transitions either down into the extended walk. Some good steps there through the extended walk, look nice. Just seem to lose a little bit of energy and spring when they move into the piaffe. Just want to see, I think, just a little bit more sort of forward energy, forward tendency through the two-time changes. It's a horse that certainly has the power, and just a point asking and wanting to see just a little bit more of it. Mistake at the start of that line will have cost them in the marks. Solid pirouettes. And you're just looking for just a little bit more, aren't you, out that extended trot. There's just not enough there to really push the marks up. Best of the Piaf comes again at the end. There is so much more to come from these two in their time together. It is only their first appearance on the Western European League in the World Cup Series, and that is a combination we will look forward to seeing much more of into the future. It's a solid start. There was just that one error, but the rest of it, as I say, it looked really good. It looked very proficient and efficient in terms of the way they're able to bring together all of the movements. You just know there's so much more there, and as that time moves on, you can see that partnership bringing even more to bear in the form of those marks. Short of just that one little change at the start of the line for the one-time changes, everything else is on the button, and there was your score. 68.609 is obviously into second place at the moment. 68.609 across the judges, so a good solid set of marks there for that partnership. And that was of course the Netherlands, De Van der Driska and Hero. Still the leading score, Nanneskorberg Merald, Blue Horse Zach. Let's look at some beautiful replays that really show these horses off at their very, very best. Back with home talent, because now it is the turn of Denmark once more, with Anna Sebastian riding here with Quel Filou by quarterback out of a Stedinger mare. Part of the team with this horse at the Europeans Eliminations Cup team in Falsterbo this year, where they took the top spot.
Second of our Danish athletes, Anna Sebastian, coming forward with the quarterback gelding, the 12-year-old Quel Filou.
Rode at the Europeans on Orlando back in 2017 to be part of the team silver medal winning performance. Very successful coming up through the youth ranks. Also certainly pushed on this year. In Mechlin in the back end of last year on the World Cup circuit. strong Grand Prix performance as part of the team in Falsterbo, where they picked up that personal best score of 73.304. Well, Filou. Some nice expression in its movements right from the start into that extended trot. Very nice through the half pass as well. This is a very strong start, although it is early stages in this test. Again to the left, as we've seen so far. Losing the sort of fluidity a little bit there in the rein back. Perhaps almost took a step too many. Again, nice and confident in the extended trot. Coming to the first of the passage movements. Nice, very relaxed, really impressive extended walk, stretching down. Yeah, they just had that little moment there in the transition. Just got a little bit high behind on the strike off. Nice extended canter. Well, they've had that little mistake or two in the changes there. Just such a pity, because it is such an important mark, and this test is very much on course for a potential personal best in the Grand Prix, whether they can recover that now. Solid, really nice through the pirouette to the left. Again to the right, just need to keep that spring and jump in their step. Really does know how to express themselves through the extended movements, there's no doubt about it. Just getting a little bit busy in that piaffe. What a beautiful test with some wonderful, wonderful parts to it. Really, really well done to them. Anna Sebastian and Cotilou looking quite brilliant here in Herning. Just that mistake in the serpentine change, the half passes coming down the centre line. There was perhaps the only thing that sort of stopped them maybe getting to a personal best here today, because 71.978 is still the best of everybody we've seen so far here in this Grand Prix competition. She now takes over the lead, and it is Denmark 1, Denmark 2, as Anna Sebastian and Quill Falou lead for Nana Skoborov Meralt and Blue Horse Zach. So great start for the Danish riders, and some really impressive moments there. The extended movements especially looking very, very good. Lovely extended walk from those two. So plenty to enjoy. And again, as a combination, I think that will but grow in its abilities. And I think we are lucky enough to see them back. Very exciting, and of course tomorrow they'll have a big part to play here at home. Plenty of home support going their way, no doubt, as well. Well, talking of home support, there'll be more as well for these two. Now it is Denmark once more with Nadia Aberoslof riding FEI Dressage Foundation out of a Leandro mare.
Welcome to our third of the 6 Danish athletes.
There's also another partnership that we're actually in Sweden on, that Nations Cup team that did so well in Falsterbo.
Welcome to the
previous year in Falsterbo picked up their personal best in the Grand Prix, 71.413. Started with this horse competing in the small tour just a few years ago. It's only their second season up in the big tour stakes, and excited to see how they get on here today. They did ride here in Herning in the 5-star back in March this year, where they found their way into 8th place in the freestyle. Nadia Aberoslof and FEI Dressage. Quite a short halt, that. Nice halt, but very short. Didn't leave it too long. Just to watch they're not hurrying a little bit too much in this test early on. Keep the hind legs perhaps just a little bit more underneath them, just allow the transitions as well to be a little bit clearer on the out. Watch that the walk has a purpose. Allow that marching beat. Walk as well, again, just maybe just wants to be a little bit more relaxed. Just again, that tension creeping in as well to the transition that follows. It's one of those parts of the test the horses do, as I said earlier, anticipate. Very positive there through the extended canter. Unfortunately, a little mistake there in the one-time changes. More than one, too many mistakes coming in. Maybe want to see a little bit more risk through that extended trot. Certainly a really nice piaffe. Dressage transition as well. Really strong final centre line at the end of it all as well to wrap that test up for Nadia Adoslov there in favour of Gerstov. The 10-year-old looking quite wonderful here on home soil in Herning. They'll be very pleased with the way that went, with the exception of the one-time changes in the only area of the test we could really say there was a mistake. Everything else very solid throughout the course. Straight into third as well. 69.304 is the score. 69.304 for them. So a nice mark indeed, and gets them within basically a percentage of their personal best in Grand Prix that came at Kosovo last year. So it means the leading score sits at 71.978 with Anna Sebastian. It means that Denmark now 1, 2, and 3 here with the way things stand. Anna Sebastian Quilfelu we know are leading. Nana Skorov Merada Blue Horse Axe sitting in second. And with that test, we're just seeing the highlights now, the replays from Nadia Abraslov there and Favour Gerasnov taking over in third place. 71.978 is the leading mark. A long way to go, 4 before the break, and now to the partnership for Japan. This lady, of course, that rode at 2 Olympic Games and the World Championships in her career already. She rode in Rio and in Hong Kong, Beijing in 2016 and 2018. Also rode at the World Championships in 2010. It is Yoko Kitai riding Amandori by Ampere. This ride since 2022, originally competed by Simone Pierce. Their Grand Prix personal best came in Exclude this year, 65.370. They put in a very strong performance in Tolbarat to finish second there in the freestyle, when they also scored a personal best mark. She's had some wonderful horses, Donnelly Ryan, Rambo, SIG Fairy Tale in her career, and now building more and more here with Amandori Yuki Kital for Japan. Conservative start. Again, just getting the horse just perhaps a little bit too short in the neck. Very deep, just pulling a little bit against the hand. Just lost that fluency and balance a bit in the extended trot. Needs again a little bit more energy, bring a bit more activity to bear here in the Passage and into the Piaf. Just watch they're not travelling a little bit. Not always showing the same rhythm through the extended walk, just need a little bit more use of the body. Want to see a little bit more stretch, nose getting a little bit more forward, keeping the regularity of the beat, keep the rhythm as well again in the collected walk. Having real problems there with the transition as well, walking out. Just that tension all creeping in, and when you lose that activity, inevitably you lose marks. Needed the horse just looked like it was falling forward a little bit, wanted a bit more ground cover and just show a little bit more freedom through that extended movement. Now, couple of little mistakes in there. It just shortens up. And you can see it again here. Just going against her a little bit, and that's where the mistakes, that sort of miscommunication coming in. Solid enough through those pirouettes. Keep the balance now. Ooh. To the judges at the end there. Yoko Kitai and Amadori for Japan. Certainly a partnership that have the raw ingredients for the future. Just want them to sort of open that frame up, take themselves a little bit more forward, and you can see the marks moving forward and upward with it as well into the future. Plenty of experience at the very top level of the sport, and a partnership that will grow. 62.6 6.30 is their mark here today in Herning. 62.630 goes into 6 of the 6 we've seen so far there for Japan, and they'll have to wait to see if that is sufficient to see them through to the freestyle here tomorrow. Looking forward, of course, to the big class tomorrow afternoon when the World Cup leg, the points-paying leg of the Western European League, will kick off here in Denmark. One of 9 countries will be visiting over the 11 rounds of the Western European League. It's going to be non-stop top sport from now through to the finals in April. We move on to Germany. One or 2 German riders here today. And exciting young talent as well coming in next up, because this is the turn of Felicitas Hendricks riding Drombush OLD. This by Destano out of a DiMaggio mare. This young lady who was part of the team gold medal winning performance at the Under-25 European Championships this year. She also won the individual gold in the Grand Prix and freestyle silver. But in the gold medal winning performance with the team, where they ride at the Inter 2 test, she scored the best scores with this horse. So only stepped up to 5-star competition back at the start of this year when she made the trip to Florida, went to Wellington, and in fact was part of the Nations Cup team out there as well for Germany that took the top spot, but put in some really strong performances, including her best Grand Prix senior performance outside of those youth ranks, with a score of 70.565. 23 years of age, Felicitas Hendricks then, and Drombush OLD, the 12-year-old, this gelding. A little bit tense at the start. They had that sort of step back we saw in the halt. Some good energy through that extended trot. Good halt. Again, showing confidence in the extended trot. Good control. Nice passage. Just a little bit of loss of rhythm in that piaffe we saw a moment ago, but nice transitions between the passage, piaffe, passage, and now into this extended walk. Maybe could have stretched out a little bit more in the extended walk, but still very solid, as is the collected walk. Certainly bringing together a very solid test so far. Still some very important movements left to go, but very much in the realms of a personal best score as things stand here for Felicitas Hendricks and Drombosh OLD. And good balanced line through the half passes. Unfortunately, just a mistake and just too many with the changes there. Which is a shame in what has otherwise been a mistake-free test for the partnership here from Germany. Young jockey, 23 years of age. This combination making their World Cup debut here in Herning. Just a little bit late as well into the collected trot. And again, a very nice, solid final line to the finish as well. Just a little bit short into the pull to the end, but that was a really nice test from that partnership. Very good to see them in action here in the FEI Dressage World Cup Grand Prix. What a tremendous young star that is for Germany as well. Felicitas Hendricks with Drombosh OLD after that magnificent performance for Germany at the Under-25 Europeans this summer, and bringing that talent to best. 70.370. They've gone up into the top three. They'll be over the moon with that. Short of that mistake that came in the changes, that was a personal best performance from those two. Their PB had been 70.565 and remained that, but with the marks they misfired on in that one line, would have easily made the difference. So bringing out their very top game here in the Grand Prix, and now we can look forward to seeing them in the freestyle here tomorrow in Herning, and that will be a really exciting opportunity to see that young star from Germany. It's a very, very well-written test here in the Grand Prix. Two more to enjoy before we get to what will be the break. Still plenty more to go. Well, from youth to experience, I guess is the best way to describe the change from one rider to the next here, because the next up, it is one of the riders we're going to see from Sweden here. There are three riders from Sweden competing, and this is Tine Willson riding Davanto. This is by Deshgiro out of a lot of 10 mare. This, of course, is a rider with a tremendous amount of experience. First competed in the Olympic Games in 1992 and was a consistent member of Swedish Olympic competition all the way through to the ride on Don Aurelio at those games in 2016 in Rio de Janeiro. She's ridden 10 European Championships and, in fact, has a team bronze medal in 2017 in both two team bronze medals, wasn't it? It was Gothenburg was the most recent in 2017, also in Hagen back in 2005. 5 World Championships. She rode 7 World Cup finals. The great Don Aurelio, of course, finishing second in 2016, and along with that, a couple of fourth places as well. Now, this horse, Devanto, has been competing since the start of 2021 and started this year with some really strong results out in Wellington. Their last outing, though, was in the freestyle in Herning, where they finished in 6th. They had a top 5 in Rotterdam. And the personal best in the Grand Prix coming in Wellington last year of 71.522. Well, unfortunately, just a little bit unsteady at the start, but now plenty of time to get into their stride. Just maybe want a little bit more push in this to bring the marks up. You can see the error at the start being penalised to 5.5 as an average from the judges. A couple of places just maybe hoping to see a little bit more sort of push and energy from behind, certainly there in the extended trot. Need that energy now. Again, just wanting more from the passage. Nice through the transitions though. Not looking necessarily relaxed enough, I wouldn't have suggested in the extended walk. Just didn't seem to have the rhythm that you'd be wanting from that movement. Looking for that marching beat. That there is the extended walk mark, 4.6 from the judges. For more, the collected walk I think will reflect the same in terms of the rhythm. It does indeed, 5.7, although it was a lovely transition out, and now much more comfortable here in the Piaffe and Passage. Sadly, mistake there, creeping in to the two-time changes. Nice though, pushing on into that extended canter, looking good. Sim Placer's looking for this horse just to look like it's carrying itself a little bit more and just show that self-carriage. Show a little bit more freedom throughout. A bit tight, making a bit of bend through the first of the pirouettes. Getting a bit tight in the back there. On the pirouette to the right, could sit back a bit more. More power and sort of allow the horse just to flow and feel a bit more free through the extended trot. Just try and help those marks. The energy through the final movements of the Passage Piaf Passage. Well, that was Tin Vimtol Silfen there and Devanto for Sweden. So a test for a combination we've been looking forward to see. And, smiling, getting plenty of applause as she heads out. The test you look at and you just think there is more to come from those two. You just know that it can develop into a bigger score than we've seen today. 68.956, so it's still a good score. It's a top 5 score for the Swedish partnership. 68.956 here for that combination A rider with such an immense amount of experience. He's been one of the great dressage riders for Sweden for a number of decades. Has been such an integral part of their championship teams over the years, and with success as well alongside that, and now looking to push herself back in to championship contention with that horse going forward. Now, going forward we will, because this next combination will in fact take us up to the halfway mark and the break in this class. That is still led by Anna Sebrasted and Quil Falou, 71.978, head of Nana Skoglund Meralt and Blue Horse Zach for Denmark, and then the young German star Felicitas Hendricks Drombush OLD sitting in third. This is Lombang Zindorf riding Darengarden's Rostov. The ride here by Romanov out of a Diamond Mare. The partnership's been on some Nations Cup teams this year for the Danish. The winning team, in fact, in Compiègne, they were on the team that finished second in Aachen this year. Lund, who has ridden at European Championship level on her previous wonderful ride, Fit2L, was at those 2013 Europeans. This combination finished third here at Herning earlier this year in the 5-star, where they actually scored their personal best in the freestyle. Their Grand Prix personal best goes back to Alleborg in 2022. And now, today, the next up, 13-year-old mare. Darengarden's Rostov, Lombang Zindorf for Denmark. Leading score that they chase, 71.978. We'll be showing some good risk through that first extended trot movement. Tapping the board there. to the left, just looked that a little bit stronger than to the right, just maybe wanted to be a little bit more supple in that right hand bend. Wasn't quite square in the halt. Perhaps a little bit of tension coming in, and that causing its own problems, and therefore creating a little bit of unevenness, and the steps certainly towards that second passage. Some good steps through the extended walk it over track. Maybe just a little bit tight in the collected walk, but still very solid marks, I would suspect. There you have 7.1. It's been a really solid test so far. That is a combination, certainly pushing towards a combination best performance. Certainly been hitting the spot with making sure they're on point with their movements. Tiny little mistake behind through those one-time changes. Just a little bit of a mistake behind as well, in fact, in that pirouette. So important to keep the rhythm alongside that balance, not allowing the horse to change. A test here that could bring Denmark back into the top three. Of course, Denmark, Germany at the minute. Nice halt as well to finish it off. It is a test that combines some of the best from those two as a combination. Lorban Zindrov and Tangaran Rostorov there, certainly putting on one of their best shows in the Grand Prix test. Tiny little mistakes in the one-time changes and again in the first pirouettes working against them, especially because they come with a double coefficient against you just that little bit harder. There was so much they did right and some really solid performances throughout. And there we have it, 72. It's more than solid. It's a brilliant lead as it stands, 72-022 for that partnership. It is now Denmark that are first, second and third here as Lorban Zindrov and Van Gradens Rostorov now lead the way at the halfway mark as we reach the break here with some fabulous combinations still to come. It is that partnership that we've just been watching then that lead the way. 72.022, Denmark 1-2-3 with the second place Anna Zibraster and Quilfalu and Nana Skoberg-Merad and Blue Horzak sitting there in third ahead of the young German talent Felicitas Hendricks and Rombosch OLD. Will it stay that way? We will see. Will Denmark rule the day here on home soil? We will find out, but there's some big names and some big horses and combinations still to come down that centre line in front of the judges here in this FEI Dressage World Cup Grand Prix. Freestyle, of course, the points paying round tomorrow. So that allows us to take a short break alongside the judges. We'll come back in around 15 minutes time with the second half of this FEI Dressage World Cup.
Dressage World Cup competition. And a big thank you to the presenting sponsors, Blue Horse, founded in 1991, upon a wish to strengthen all aspects of the dressage game. Back then and all the way until today, one of the primary goals was to always have a rider from Blue Horse to be part of the Danish national team. And for now, this has been more than fulfilled. In recent years, this wish has carried riders and horses from Blue Horse to competitions all over the world. Riders and horses from Blue Horse have won medals at the world's biggest championships and have consistently been at the top of the dressage world rankings. Blue Horse rider Nana Skobomerov and the stallion Blue Horse Zach participated in the Olympic Games in Tokyo and were part of the team gold at the World Championships here in Herning in 2022 and achieved top placements on the World Cup circuit. With Zach's son, Blue Horse Zepter, Nana is the reigning Danish dressage champion, and together they've also won World Cup qualification in Newminster and achieved several top placements to the World Cup final in Omaha and the prestigious CHIO Arco. Most recently, the pair contributed to Denmark's team bronze and an individual silver medal at the FEI European Championships in Reisenbeck.
The FEI Dressage World Cup returns for a new season. As the world's best athletes and horses take center stage to deliver performances full of grace, power, music, and artistry in a bid to secure a place at the finals in April 2024. This is equestrian sport at its most epic.
And now a special message to all our athletes from the FEI. It is their pleasure to welcome you to Herning for the FEI Dressage World Cup Western European League. 4 leagues make this series truly global and provide athletes from all around the world with an opportunity to qualify for the final, which will be taking place in Riyadh in April 2024. As one of the most prestigious series on the international dressage calendar, it is with great anticipation that we watch this season to qualify.
Welcome back. This is how it stands halfway through the Grand Prix of the FEI Dressage World Cup, the opening round here in this fabulous arena in Herning in Denmark. And as you can see at the moment, the Danish riders are 1, 2 and 3 with fabulous performances all round. Lombard Sindarov and Ferngradens Rostorov just before the break taking over at the top. 72.022 is that leading score. Anna Sebastian, Quell Filou, 71.978, the world number 3 with her Olympic and World Championship ride. Blue Horse Zach, Nana Skoborov Merad there on 71.543. Felicitas Hendricks, the German star, in 4th place ahead of Nadia Abdeslov. That is as it stands, but we are not done yet. There are still 8 more combinations to come forward, including the likes of Patrick Kittel, Andres Heltzrand, and plenty more. Riders for Sweden, Lithuania, the Netherlands, Denmark, and Germany all left in the draw. 72.022 is the target, and of course qualification as well, all important to get through to tomorrow's freestyle, which is what we'll be focusing in on Sunday afternoon here in Herning, with the first points being awarded at the end of that for the Western European League for this 2023-2024 season. The road to Riyadh begins here in Herning. 11 rounds making up the Western European League across 9 countries where we will visit over this winter season, the major indoor venues. Here's the lineup to take us through to the finish. with a partnership of Rafael Netz and Great Escape Camelot, the last to go. But as I mentioned, Patrick Kittle there. Touchdown is part of the mix. Andres Hegstrand, Queen's Park Wendy. But as you'll also see, the first is set to get us back underway. We're going to be with Sweden in a moment with Caroline Duckhaut and Lord Django. Denise Neckermann in there for the Dutch, and Corentin Potier. Making sure France have their chance as well here in Denmark this afternoon. So it'll be fascinating to see the performances unfold. Caroline Duckhaut to start things off again in front of our panel of judges that includes Hans Christian Mattelsen, Susan Barup, Mariette Sandersgan Van Winkel, Henning Lerman and Peter Stoll. Caroline and Lord Django been together since 2022 and originally produced by Polish rider Ilyona Janis. Went to Wellington at the start of the year. Went very well actually there in the freestyle. They picked up third. They had some really good placings. They picked up a personal best as well in the Grand Prix while they were there. They've been on the Nations Cup team in Rotterdam and in Compiègne for Denmark this season. Sweden's Caroline Duckhaut. A little bit hurried in the rein back. Again, just getting a little bit deep as well. Quite hurried in their step up through the extended trot. Need to keep that engagement now. And watch them just losing the energy, just flattening out a little bit there as well in the Piaf. Hoping for more through the transitions. Keep that engagement in the passage. Just want the horse just to stretch down a little bit more. Need to watch their rhythm through that collected walk and maybe be a little bit more direct into the transition of the passage. Again, just having a few issues here. Rhythm breaking, losing that fluency, just showing a bit of resistance into that first Piaf. Of course, that then has a knock-on effect throughout your transition mark as well. almost through the half passes. A little bit more south carriage in places to improve those marks. Do a bit more bend as well in the first of the pirouettes. Have that impression and showing just maybe a little bit hurried again through the extended shot as they looked at the start. Gets a bit quick. Travelling a little bit in the Piaf. Passage. And then we have Sweden's Caroline Dacour getting things back underway here in this FEI Dressage World Cup Grand Prix presented by Blue Horse. Smiles all round for them. Second year together. Ooh. Feeling excited and happy now. The pressure's off because that is done for that combination. There's the mark to start us off again. 68.782 on the board to go into 7th place here this afternoon in Herning.
And on our spectator app, 69.528. Well done, Caroline Dacour.
To come from Sweden a little bit later, but Sweden at the moment in 6th and 7th in this class with Tine and Caroline's score there going in as well, but Denmark still holding the top 3 slots here. To see how that continues to progress. Next to go, it's partnership for Lithuania now. This is Justina Vagaret riding the BAP. Warm blood is by Sir Donovan out of a C mare. These two recently at the European Championships, their second European Championship outing was in Risenbeck this year. Having competed at the Europeans in 2021 as well. They also qualified for the World Cup final in Omaha, where they finished just outside the top 10. They finished in 11th place. They were at the World Championships here in Herning in 2022 as well. They've already started off this year with a fabulous run of form as well in some of the additional World Cup rounds in Czechoslovakia, in Czech Republic, Estonia, Slovakia and Poland, with some really good performances. .087 is the personal best. That score today would put them on the top of the pile. They need to bring their best out here in Herning if they're going to be able to do that. They've certainly got the experience together, and as I said, this year in their tests so far they've put in some really exquisite performances. Solid start. Just need to watch them just getting a little bit too short in the neck. Certainly nice. Just want to get that drive from behind, bring the front end up. Maybe just needed a little bit more time in the hull. Losing that sort of fluency and not very clear in the transition. Needed to keep the horse just a little bit more under them. Some nice steps in the extended walk. Just could have asked for a little bit more stretch at the start. I'm trying to get the horse just to follow the hand a little bit more. Nice transition into the passage. Losing their balance a little bit there in the transition. Got a little bit short behind. I think there was just a little mistake in a couple of their changes there in the one times. Some control through the opening pirouette. Watch the balance, keep the jump. that energy all the way down through this final passage. And then you're done. Well done. Very well done indeed. Heading towards the top 5 position as it stands. Justina there and Nabab. Lithuania is very happy with that, showing plenty of love to this audience as well here in this fabulous arena in Herning. Delighted with the way that's gone. A lot to like. Very solid performance as well throughout the Grand Prix test. So there's the score. It is top 5, 69.783%. So that puts the Lithuanian partnership there of Justine Vaganate and Nabab into the top 5, ahead of Nadia Audosloff for Denmark, who now moves in to 6th place. The Danish riders, though, remain 1, 2, 3 at the top of the order, and we're far from done with the home talent. Still 6 more combinations to come down at the centre line here in the Grand Prix test, and then tomorrow, of course, we'll focus on the freestyle. We have already seen 2 for the Netherlands. Now it is the turn of the third of the Dutch riders to start things out here. It's the turn now of Denise Neckerman riding Boston STH. By Johnson Tied out of a Quattro mare. We saw her sister Janine a little bit earlier on. Denise, another rider that has been very successful coming through the youth ranks, through young riders and under 25s between 2014 and 2019, regularly on Dutch teams there, and regularly being part of medal winning performances with this horse Boston, that has certainly been a sort of starring ride in her rise and her career so far. The partnership, in fact, are in their 4th season of the World Cup. Last year competing in Sertogenbosch, Neumünster and in Denmark when we were in Wilhelmsborg. And we had 2 10th places, both in Den Bosch and in Neumünster. Their personal best, I believe, in the Grand Prix is around 72.283, which I think came in Amsterdam in 2020. Looking then to try and move the Dutch up into the top ranks of this board here in the Grand Prix test with this 17-year-old stallion now, Boston STH, Denise Neckerman for the Netherlands. Beautiful start. A little bit tight, a little bit short. I think they're quite busy in the mouth. The squarest of the halts. Could have taken a little bit more risk as well in the extended trot. They almost ended a little bit early. Keep those hind legs underneath you. Bring the power, engagement. Keep the lift through the piaffe. The shoulders to feel free. Nice extended walk. Just needed to keep the contact in the collected walk. Maybe a little bit early in that transition. Nicely done through the two-time changes. Getting a little bit short on the neck in that half pass movement with the changes. Just it's a little bit deep in front. To watch the balance in the pirouettes. This has been a really solid test, though. I'm going to speak too soon because see the marks just being consistently 7s, 7s, 7s. It's keeping them very much on course for a 70+ percentage score here. Partnership with a personal best at 72.283. They are not far away from. Need a really strong final line if they're going to get to that, but certainly knocking on the door of a top 3. Keep the collection here and the passage now into the Piaf. Well, she should be delighted with the way that she has ridden and the way that that horse has gone, and she certainly looks to be, because that was a really strong performance, very accurately ridden from Denise Nickerman there at Boston STH for the Netherlands, and that will certainly see them move up into the top 4. Just waiting for those final marks to be confirmed. But there was so much tonight, really solid riding, very, very impressive. Mistake-free. You always want more, you can always give more, you can always do more, and then you'll get more marks. But it was solid from start to finish, and that is 71.478, and that does indeed go up into 4th place from Denise there, and it's so close at the top here. The smallest of sort of errors or marks making differences in the placings, and you can look at all of the top 3 and think they've had perhaps a little problem here or there in their test today, but Denise certainly making sure she brought together the strongest performance she possibly could with Boston. I mean, they've got the longevity of that combination. They know each other so very, very well. But it means the Netherlands move into 4th. But it is still Denmark, 1, 2, 3. And now to another of the big names in Danish dressage coming up next. on the start list because this is the turn of the world number 11. It is the turn of Andreas Helgstrand riding Queen's Park Wendy. It's Danish warm blood by Suzanne Tu out of a Blue Horse Soprano mare. Another rider that has been a major championship force for the Danish over the years in the form of Olympic medals in Hong Kong, Beijing, back in 2008 when he rode Blue Horse Don Choufreau. Of course, he also rode at the 2004 Olympic Games on Blue Horse Cavern. He has been a multiple-time member of the European Championship teams, including the bronze medal this year with Jovian. Today the ride is this Danish warm blood Queen's Park Wendy. He's had a couple of World Cup Championship outings as well over the years. 77.130 is their score. This 9-year-old, though, is certainly one which we'd be looking forward to seeing. Been an outstanding start. This really looking good at the moment. Beautiful quality in the paces. Lovely half pass to the right as well. Maybe needed to be a little bit clearer in the steps in the rain back. Those two won the freestyle together in Alleborg this year. Nice extended walk. A great deal of quality. Maybe just looking for a little bit more rhythm in the collected walk. Solid transition into the passage. Showing a very good average in terms of their scores. Their Grand Prix record, to be fair to them, is quite strong. They, over the course of sort of last year and through this year, regularly scoring sort of 72 to 74% in their Grand Prix. Now, this is a horse that, since it stepped up into Grand Prix tests, has never scored under 71%. Much at the moment, this knocking on the door of a combination best as it stands. It's a little bit tight in places, but still able to demonstrate some really, really quality movements. Oh, the only mistake so far, it just comes at the end. Oh, what a shame. Doesn't mean that they still perhaps won't deliver the strongest test if they can still remain mistake-free for the rest of it, but it might just take away their opportunity to record a PB here or a CB, combination best personal best score. As I say, it's a 9-year-old, but it's impressed since it was young. It qualified for the World Championship final in the 5-year-olds when it finished 3rd back in 2019, and then in the final as a 7-year-old finished in 6th place with Andres. You know there is so much more to come. At 9, that is a star that we will see so much more of. Queen's Park Wendy looks absolutely brilliant here in Herning, and Andres Hersten has given it a fabulous ride. So that has certainly woken everybody up. They've really enjoyed it. I love that test. That was really nice just to watch a horse that is still got many years to continue to improve, and just watching that story unfold. There's the score today. Except they had a very good average. Never scored less than 71%. That's 73.348. It isn't quite a PB after that one tiny, well, obvious error that we saw, but take that out. Everything else has got quality in it. And 73.348. Denmark were already leading, but now they lead again because it's Andres Helgstrand and Queen's Park Wendy that take over at the top. And that's quite a move as well. 73.348 versus 72.022, which is second place. Denmark 1, 2, 3, and 4 at the moment, with what is 4 more to go. So maybe the biggest threat to the home crowd having a home rider win here today comes next, because it is now to another of the sports greats in the form of the world, number 7. Patrick Kittel, a riding touchdown for Sweden. This beautiful Swedish warm blood by quarterback Patrick, of course, who has been the mainstay of so much success for Swedish dressage, and he himself a hugely successful individual, having ridden 8 World Cup finals. He finished as high as 4th back in 2016 and 2018 with Watermill, Scandic and Deja, most recently qualifying in 2022 on his last finals. This year, with this horse touchdown, he of course went to the European Championships. He qualified for the freestyle as well on that final day. He was 10th in the Grand Prix test with a score of 75.171 on touchdown to put in a strong individual performance as well. So they certainly have it within them. This was his World Championship ride as well in Herning in 2022. He's a 3-time Olympian. The Grand Prix personal best coming in Stockholm in 2022 when this got 77.892. There's a horse and a rider that know each other very well, and perhaps when you looked at it on paper today, it was very hard to look past them with their recent form. counts so much. But this is certainly a really strong start, as you would perhaps have been expecting. The marks are following suit as well. Best piafs we've seen so far today. Just need to be a little bit more fluent in the transitions between the passage and piaf. A lovely beat to the extended walk. Wanted to be a bit more direct in that transition, having shown a very strong collected walk. Swaying a little bit there in the piaf. Solid, impressive movements throughout. Very nice extended canter as well. Needs to be nice and straight with the change. Mistake coming in there, some small problems. Overall marks though certainly strong enough, even with a little error, to keep them on target for a top spot as it stands. Really nice pirouette to the left. Maybe could have been a little bit bigger, but very fluid. Again, strong in the pirouette to the right. The final line, surely more strong marks to come. And a nice halt to finish at a test that should surely take them to the top of the leaderboard here. He knows it as well. He could not have asked for more from touchdown. Could Patrick Kittel here from Sweden? Could well be Sweden in Denmark that lead the way here in Herning. And he is such a popular rider. He's been such an amazing ambassador for this sport throughout his career. Well, there it is, 75.152% straight to the top of the leaderboard. That will take a huge amount of beating. Could well be the winning test in the Grand Prix. It was a really strong performance from those two. And they are a combination that continue to get stronger and stronger, and they already have such a long list of accolades attached to them with big performances like the win in Falsterbo this year, in Al Shikab as well. They have a very strong freestyle routine and a freestyle personal best of 85.905, so will be very much a contender in that World Cup freestyle class that we will see here tomorrow in Herning. But it is Patrick Kittel and touchdown that have, well, 75.152 put themselves in control here in this FEI World Cup Grand Prix. Still, there are 3 more to go, 3 nations left to go, with France, Denmark and Germany left in the draw. It will be France to take their turn next, with Corentin Potier riding Gatillas de Feuillard. These two competed at the World Championships in Denmark last year. Just shy of 70% that day in the Grand Prix. Corentin has been competing Gatillas, in fact, since he was a 7-year-old this year. Part of the winning Nations Cup performance from the French in Rotterdam. They were second together in the freestyle there in Rotterdam. They went well in Basel last season on the World Cup circuit. In fact, it was their only World Cup show, where they finished in 9th in the freestyle. I believe their Grand Prix personal best came out of the 5-star in Fontainebleau this year, where they finished 5th, scoring 72.552 or 72.522%. So strong combination if they can bring it all together. And a rider for France now with Corentin Potier and Gatillas de Feuillard. Solid start, but maybe a little bit cautious. Let's keep the balance in the half pass. Camera angle, beautiful way to see things. Maybe could have had a little bit more push and power through that, just to take a bit more risk in the extended trot. Still good average of marks around 7 at the moment. Nice walk. Got better as they went further through the movement. Now the collected walk. A bit of tension creeping in. Solid movements, solid accuracy. Again, just coming round towards the two-time changes. Very smart. Oh, little change there, little problem, an error, loss of balance, and then that will affect them through the, of course, the mark that follows, because you have a collected canter, the change mark that comes afterwards, and that all came a little bit late and together. They managed it very, very well, I have to say. The recovery from it was quite outstanding. Controlled, maybe just a little bit more jump required, a bit more energy, a bit late with the change. Another strong performance from these two. See that mark still currently over 71% for a partnership with a personal best of 72.5, and there was that one little problem which they recovered brilliantly from, but they've been very consistent throughout the rest of their test, this partnership for France. Nice final line as well to finish things off. Just the halt to go. And a strong halt to finish as well. Strong riding and a very good performance there for Corentin Poitier and Gautilas de Fouillard. So a really nice performance from the combination for France. Good to see them moving up into the top 6 here maybe. See what the scores say when the judges confirm their marks in just a moment. Not far from that. There it is, not far at all. And it is into the top 6 as 5th, 71.696%. So a little bit stronger, in fact, there than Nana Scorbar-Mellard of Blue Horzac. It puts Corentin Poitier ahead of her and France into 5th place. So Patrick Kittel still leading from Andreas Hegstrand in 2nd, Lombang Sidorov in 3rd, Anna Sebastian sits 4th, and now Corentin Poitier moving there into fifth place with Cotillas de Fouillard. So very nicely done from that Dutch warbler by Totelas out of a Ferro Mare, which means we have just 2 more partnerships to go before we know who is the winner in this opening round of the FEI Dressage World Cup. The Grand Prix test here on the Saturday. The big one comes tomorrow, the freestyle, the World Cup round. The points paying qualifying round will be tomorrow afternoon here in Herning. And this is the warm-up act in many respects, but what a warm-up act it is. It's certainly reminded us of just how great this series is and what brilliant competition, what brilliant horsemanship, what brilliant riding it brings together. Well, the next to go is the first of the final 2, and it's the last of the Danish riders. Anna Kasperak riding Arik de Massa by Sanamur out of a Maestro Mare. Anna, who was a double Olympian on the great Dom Perignon, that took her to Team Silver in 2017 European Championships as well, and to 2 World Cup finals alongside 3 European outings. It was very much a brilliantly paired combination with that ride, Dom Perignon. This horse, Addicted to Massa, this year in August had a win in Emilio in the 3-star and the freestyle. They went well here in Herning in the 5-star back at the start of the year, where they in fact scored their PB in freestyle. Their personal best in Grand Prix, I believe, came in Falsterbo in the Nations Cup in 2022 when they scored at 77.6. To make sure they keep that relaxation, just a little bit hurried at the beginning. Make sure they, again, just keep that relaxation, keep that control in the rein back. Very nice indeed through the Piaf and Passage. Up there with the best we've seen. Nice again. It really is such a strong part of their arsenal in the Piaf and the Passage. Tensing up a little bit, tiny little mistake there. Moment and Addicted to Mass are still very impressive. Setting up for the pirouette. Up a little bit, sitting a little bit more. Just lost their sort of balance a little bit, is what it seems to be in that right-handed pirouette. Just a fraction late as well into the trot. Very nice performance, very nicely done indeed, and Anna ensuring that the Danish have another rider right the way up towards the top of the order. I don't think it's quite going to take over Patrick Kittle's place, but a brilliant performance indeed on Addicted to Massa, and that combination certainly one to continue to watch, and I have a feeling will fire Anna back towards Danish teams going forward. We'll see how the freestyle develops tomorrow, but after such success over so many years with Dom Perignon, he's a rider with a huge array of experience. That today is a score that has taken her into the top three. So 72.870 is the mark. 72.870. Well done to them for Anna Pasparak and Addicted to Massa. So that moves her ahead of Lombard Zindrov and Anna Zebresten, who move into 4th and 5th. The Danish rider sitting 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th at the moment, but it is the Swede that leads, Patrick Kittel ahead of Andreas Hegstrand, and now Anna there in 3rd. We have still, though, one more combination left to go here this afternoon in Herning, and it'll be Germany who have another of their up-and-coming stars to perform. We've already seen, I remind you, Felicitas Hendricks and Drobos OLD, who are holding on in the top 10 today because they sat in 9th place. But this is going to be Rafael Netz and Great Escape Camelot, the last out. Last in front of the judges, the ride, this Dutch Warm Blood by Johnson Tien out of a Turbo Magic Mare. Rafael, who is another rider that's been hugely impressive in the youth ranks from European under 25 team gold in 2019 to individual bronze and individual silver, individual gold in 2020 and 2021 with the team gold as well. It has been a real run of medal success coming through those youth ranks. This ride, new this year, ridden by Estelle Weinstein, who rode on Nations Cup teams in Rotterdam and also in Stuttgart in 2022. And this partnership this year in Rotterdam, part of the team finished in second place. They went well there in the freestyle. Their Grand Prix personal best coming in at 73.152 when they had their opening show together back at the start of this year in Amargo. Still this final test to figure into the mix here with Rafael Netz and Great Escape Camelot. It is a good start. Sorted through the rain back, and we've already started well. Just need to watch they don't look like they're hurrying somewhat in the extended trot. Really nice start to the passage. To very good indeed in the second of the passage, and good strong movements throughout there. Seem a little bit freer, show a little bit more ground cover and activity in the extended walk. Getting confident once they're into the passage. They're very happy to show that off at its best. Unfortunately, a little bit of a mistake there in the two-time changes. At the end, that mistake creeping in. Settling down into that extended canter. Put it behind them and kept going nicely. little bit tense through the one-time changes. They managed that very well. Fluid transition into the collected trot. This has been a really impressive test to finish things off in this Grand Prix. Every reason to think he'll hold that 4th place when he halts at the finish. What a way to finish. What an impressive partnership they make when you consider it is a new ride this year as well. Great Escape Camelot and Rafael Nietz, a real star, will continue to rise for Germany. And they look very, very happy with their performances together, and so they should. What a great way it has been to wrap things up. And there is the score, 72, 6.52% for Rafael Nietz and Great Escape Camelot to put that partnership in Germany into 4th place then. And that, in turn, confirms that the Grand Prix winner here in Herning for this FEI Dressage World Cup, it is Sweden's Patrick Kittel, the world number 7 and touchdown, that have come out on top. Here is the confirmed order: 75.152 touchdown, and Patrick Kittel for Sweden, ahead of Denmark, who finish in 2nd and 3rd with Andres Hegström, Queen's Park Wendy, Anna Kasparak and Addicted to Massa. Rafael Nietz with a superb test on Great Escape Camelot in 4th ahead of Lundberg Sindorf, Fergarden Rostov and Anna Ziveresten, Anquil Baloo. And then the order continues, as you can see, down and through. We've seen some really, really nice combinations. A couple of little mistakes have made differences. That's part of the game, part of the sport. Ultimately, we're always looking for perfection, aren't we? We know it's not something that is ever completely achievable. It's just in this sport, some of these horses and some of these riders get awfully, awfully close, and on occasions they get there as well. One day we'll maybe see 100%, whoever knows, I doubt it, but what we've seen today is really exceptional start, and of course tomorrow it will be even stronger and even better with the FEI Dressage World Cup here in Herning, the first of the Western European League rounds, with the freestyle and the points being paid out at the end of that towards the Western European League table, with round 1 of the series kicking off here. Well, the judges down there just retreating from their judging tables. We've had Hans Christian Madsen and Susan Barup at E and H for Denmark today. Mariette Sanders van Gunswinkel, the president for the class, sat at C for the Netherlands. Henning Lerman, who was sat at M from Germany, and Peter Storr from Great Britain sat at B. So great to see this competition run here today. Really excited to see the way it turns out tomorrow. I have a feeling it's going to be a very, very exciting battle between the top 4 or 5 over the course of that test. You wouldn't want to rule any of them out realistically when they head down that centre line, and it's freestyle time here in Denmark, and that's what we will of course take you up to and build up to tomorrow. But right now we're going to build up towards the presentation of awards, because that's what is heading our way as preparations for the medal ceremony and the awards just underway. As you can see, they're just putting the final touches down there, ready for the awards. And we'll see our top few heading back with their horses in just a moment. So the season starting here in Herning with that freestyle tomorrow, before we move to Lyon in France next week. Then it'll be Germany and Stuttgart a couple of weeks after that, before we head down south to Spain and to Madrid. Then we go to the UK, to London, the London International Horse Show at Excel in the run-up to Christmas, and then between Christmas and New Year, of course, the traditional trip to Belgium and to Mechlin. Once we get into 2024, it all kicks off in Basel in Switzerland, before we move to Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and then it'll be back to Germany once more as we head to Neumünster in February, before we head to Sweden and Gothenburg. The last leg of the Western European League back in the Netherlands in 's-Hertogenbosch at the beginning of March, by which point we will then know who is off to Riyadh for the FEI Dressage World Cup final of 2024. That is what the aim is. Will it be Jessica once more? We will see when she comes out and lines up. I haven't yet seen the list for Lyon next week, but of course it was Lyon where she appeared last year as defending champion. She'll be heading back, whatever. But there's plenty more top talented horses and riders that are knocking on the door and getting ever closer. And it's been great to see Patrick Kittle winning here today and going so well on that touchdown. Really a horse that has very much established itself now at this very top level with championship performances, and of course now with this win in the Grand Prix, he'll be hoping that he can follow through with that freestyle event here tomorrow as well. It's been, as I mentioned earlier, a fabulous ambassador for equestrian sport, for dressage in general, and sure is somebody that remains ever popular. It'll be a popular home win here tomorrow. I have to say, that 9-year-old of Andrea Sanstad's Queen's Park Wendy was a hugely impressive performer, and one that I'm looking forward to following going forward in its career. So we'll see how that works out as well. Not long before the presentations get underway down there on the arena floor. As our party dignitaries find their way into position. Just having a little look for Patrick Kittle. With, of course, you know, as I say, it's very hard to predict exactly who will come out on top in the freestyle tomorrow. And I was curious, and it was a fact I didn't have down. And it was just looking up, when was the last time Patrick Kittle won a freestyle in the Western European League? It's corrected. What I've just looked up, I believe it was in 2017 in London Olympia on Doradio LD when he won that year. So obviously he's had some outstanding results, and he's had wins on additional World Cup rounds outside the Western European League. But in terms of one of the big ones, had some amazing podium finishes in that time, but that's what we're looking at. If you go in again tomorrow, you wouldn't even rule out the likes of Nana, who of course had a few mistakes in her test today, and it did have a big impact on her score, which is why she's down in 8th place on Blue Hill Vac. We know just how good they are. And as I say, they're sat in 8th after the Grand Prix today. There are stories like that throughout. Andreas Understood, I think, was one of the real highlights as well. As I say, in second, seeing that in the freestyle tomorrow, I think will be a big moment for the pair of them. And Anna Kasparak there, addicted to Massad, is continuing to grow in their strength as well. Netz, the young jockey from Germany. As I say, the stories throughout, and things you can look back on from each of them. But Kittel tomorrow will be, I'm sure, hoping and going for a win, as they will. But certainly, after winning the Grand Prix, he has to be the focus, and he has to perhaps be the favourite now, going into tomorrow with the performance he's put on today in this Grand Prix test. It's a little bit of an indicator. We've seen we've seen, of course, the Grand Prix winner going on and winning the freestyle plenty of times, but we've also seen it where it hasn't happened. And the freestyle does show off slightly different strengths, and of course the ability to write that program to fit your horse. And obviously, as much as there are the prescribed movements within the technical element, it's that artistic percentage as well that balances it up. Patrick Tiller's had a very, very good line of that. Well, here we go, Corian Pouquier and Gautillas de Fouillard, the partnership in 7th here today for France. Really nicely done. They got close to a personal best score today, but for one moment it could have been, and I think they'll be happy enough with the way that's worked out. On home soil, Guy Fallu and Anna Zibransten there with 71.978, taking home a top 6 finish in the Grand Prix test here in Herning. Is great news for the both of them, as it is for the partnership that finished in 5th then today on a score of 72.022. Smiles all round from Lombards Zinderhoff and Faragardens Rosderov there for Denmark. And lovely looking mare. Here is the man that wrapped it all up. He finished it in 4th for Germany with the new ride this year, Great Escape Camelot. 72.652 on the board at the end of that one with Raphael Nietz for Germany. So great from him, as they all ensure they way to get the appreciation they are so richly deserving from this fabulous crowd here in Herning. So great sport, as we seem to be guaranteed the dressage on the FEI Dressage World Cup circuit. To watch plenty of pats and plenty of applause. So that gives us 7, 6, 5 and 4. We now welcome 1, 2 and 3. Here he is, the winner from Sweden, Kittel, and touchdown. Swedish Warm-Blood quarterback, ahead of Andreas Helmström and the 9-year-old Queen's Park Wendy by Susan 2, and Anna Kasparak and Addicted to Massad there for Denmark. The English riders second, third, but it's the Swede. Number 7. So it comes out on top here today. Of course, on FEI TV, you won't miss a trick over the course of the FEI Dressage World Cup season.
Please be upstanding for our winners, national anthem,
every piaffe, every single stride. Today, the winner, Patrick Kittel, in the Grand Prix on touchdown.
Patrick Kittle. He's just been unstoppable today as Her Royal Highness Princess Benedict presents him with the winners
Benedict stepping forward to present to Patrick Kittle as the winner of the FEI Dressage World Cup Grand Prix, presented here by Blue Horse. The tremendous passion there is here in Denmark, not only for the horse but for this fabulous sport. Of course, the Danish team are the reigning world champions in dressage. Sweden, though, made sure that they show off their Nordic abilities as well here. As Miles going to stay there. He's already had the 3-star Grand Prix today. He's made the 5-star his own as well. So well done.
And now to step forward, we have Jens Javier, Maria Sanders van Frank, and Ulrich Troll to present Patrick Kittle with the Troll Company Prize.
Well, there we have our FEI president of the class there, Marietta Sanders van Frank, congratulating our winner as well. And they can line up for a photo. Flowers held aloft. And I have to say, full marks to touchdown. He's staying very calm, all things considered, whereas those in second and third are having a little wander around at the back there. Great stuff from Patrick, but of course, say well done as well to those that finish
Now the presenting party step forward to our two brilliant
in second and third as well, as you can see now, because it is Denmark and this Danish warm-blood, this mare, Queen's Park Wendy, the 9-year-old Andres Helstrand rider, who has certainly been such a major player in the Danish sport over the years. Multiple European championships, Olympic championships, World Cup finals. And that is a horse that has certainly shone since it was seen in those young horse classes, and then now quite lively she is down there. And in third, Anna Kasparak, Addicted to Massa, the stallion. Well done her as well to pick up third place here today. Very happy, I'm sure. And after the hugely successful career that she had on the wonderful Dom Perignon, as I said earlier, I feel with Addicted to Massa will very much feature as a championship partnership, maybe once again going forward. Of course, next year for everybody in the world of dressage. It's a big year. Paris is going to be a making sure they are at their best going into 2020. But here in the FEI Dressage World Cup in Herning, in the Grand Prix test on the Saturday here in Denmark, it is Sweden and Patrick Kittle that take the top spot on touchdown. Can he do it again tomorrow? That is the question. If he does, it will be a huge moment for him and that ride. The Danish riders are certainly on form on home soil. It's anyone's game when we come back for the opening leg with the freestyle of the FEI Dressage World Cup, live with you on FEI TV tomorrow. Make sure you're here to enjoy it all. Don't miss out. Back from her tomorrow.
secure a place at the finals in April 2024. This is equestrian sport at its most epic.
Ja, tak for det, mine damer og herrer, og velkommen tilbage, når klokken den bliver 16:40 til FEI Afternoon Show, altså klokken 16:40. Og til U25-rytterne, der vil der nu være en lydprøve her i arenaen, så I må gerne holde klar. For the under 25 riders, please come to the sound check. We will begin in a few minutes.